Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, creator of Modern Health Myths and master of health and longevity. And today we're going to revisit this idea, this concept that all too few people seem to be aware of, and that is the downside of lockdowns. This is not the first time I've talked about this, but I don't think people understand just how dangerous it is to destroy the economy with lockdowns that may or may not. Uh, Certainly, lockdowns will stop the spread, but ultimately, when you pop your head out from the cave, there's going to be resurgence cases, which we're seeing all over the globe. But the challenge has been that there are clear downsides and problems and health concerns associated with tanking the economy. This particular study really goes into depth. So if you're somebody that really wants to know more about the downsides, not just worldwide, because that's a whole nother story, but locally, as far as like the United States, this study looks into some of the data that 43% of the U.S. population has had someone in their house, themselves or someone in their household, that has had a job loss or reduction in income. In the lower income group, that number was even more severe at 52%. These are scary numbers, and we know, we've said it before, that lower income and the demographics and things that go along with that are uh, what's the word? Kindling is not the right word. A scenario, worst case scenario for any infectious disease. COVID is no different. So this article really goes into detail about food insecurity that has developed as a result, not only financially, but also how we can get food around and food targeted for the home versus eating out of the home, and how food insecurity, as a result of job losses and changing the way we move food around, is just horrendously bad for our health. Leads to things like increased rates of HIV, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart disease. It increases mortality rate. It then increases things like intimate partner violence and child abuse, just depression, anxiety. It is this horrendous scenario that ends up creating a scenario that's going to be far more damaging than what we're trying to prevent. And this is something that people just some can't seem to get wrap their hands around, that there are consequences. And we're now moving into a scenario where there's some more talk again about shutting things down, and there are I've talked ad nauseum about ways to support the immune system so that we can avoid shutdowns and lockdowns, which create financial devastation. We certainly haven't even recovered from the first set of things, and a lot of cities are starting a lot of states are starting to open back up. So this is going to look at if we start to shut things back down again, millions of people are going to be affected negatively that then will have health consequences, both acute, as in right now, and long-term, that are going to dwarf any losses that we will have from COVID. I know that's hard to grasp, but it is very clear that these are very real consequences. And again, this particular study goes into detail about how much food insecurity and the stress that goes with that will drive things like inflammation as well. It's just a mess when you look at it that way. So just wanted to make sure that I got this study out there for anybody who really wants to look into detail, or if you think that lockdowns are a good idea and there's no downside, then it's really time to educate yourself so that we can make balanced decisions about how to handle this going forward. As always, I will post a link to this particular study in the comment section. Make sure you share this video with somebody who you think needs the information, like the video, and subscribe to the channel.